Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, Moa. How are you two this afternoon? Welcome to the Launchpad Associate Support Educational Structure. Tom's son, Michael Gainey. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Mr. Gainey, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing excellent. Really looking forward to this afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time to put together a little instructional walkthrough for player development. Moa and David are self-muted. I just unmuted David Salcido. David,
Thank
can you hear us today?
I am. I can hear you. I see you.
There you are. There you are. Thanks for joining us on the Launchpad today.
All right.
Moa Pak, you are oh, there you are. Moa, could you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Good. How are you?
Great. Just great. Okay. Michael Gainey from Mount Woodson is going to be taking us through player development today. Michael, it is all yours. He's going to present for about 30 minutes, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A. Tom, did you have anything to say before we begin? Tom's son?
No, John. Thank you again, Michael, for your volunteer in terms of instructing the player development section of the program, of the portfolio, and we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to slip out here, and Michael, it's all yours.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and welcome to our attendees. I appreciate you taking the time to be with me today, and hopefully I can provide a little bit of information that will help you all out. And what I want you to know is that everything that I'm presenting to you is taken from course manual that I have. And although it doesn't have all the information in this webinar, I hope to give you some of the juicy parts that I felt most important, and will help you get a better understanding of player development, how it can help you, your facility, and give you some more information as you continue on through your studies to attaining your PGA membership. So let me go ahead and get started. And just want to introduce myself. Who am I? My name is Michael Gainey, and I'm a PGA professional at Mount Woodson Golf Course in Ramona, California. And if you're not familiar with the area, that's the north inland part of the county for San Diego County. I've been a PGA member since November of last year, and in fact was part of the same class that Nikki, who works with Tom over at Arrowwood, we both attended level 3 together and attained our membership at the same time. My first job in golf was actually a while ago, back in 1995, and if you had a chance to talk to me more, I'd share with you the unique journey that I've had. And although I haven't been in golf 100% of the time, I've been involved in my life for quite a while, and I've had a lot of unique experiences during that time, from my first job to where I am now. I put on here that I'm a former PAT tour player, and if any of you know what I'm talking about, I had a few PATs that I came very close to passing, missed by 1 shot, 2 shot, a few times. So after the 3rd time, I considered myself a PAT tour veteran, and finally accomplished that PAT, and what a relief that was. At Mount Woodson, my primary role is that of a teacher. I instruct players of all kinds, mainly focused right now on a lot of player development programs, and still do a lot of private lessons. And teaching and mentoring is something that I truly love. I've found over the years that the things that I've done in my life, I've always looked back and had the most memorable times when I can help serve others, teach them based on the experiences I have, and provide mentorship to those that are following the footsteps that a lot of us have gone through, especially attaining PGA membership and beyond. And lastly, I'm married and have 2 young boys, ages 7 and 4. And we just came back from a wonderful trip this past weekend from the desert and raced back so my wife could head to work and I could be here with you today. So I just want to again thank you, and I'm really excited to share some information with you. So some of the things that I hope that we can learn from today, understand how player development programs can benefit not only your facility, but also you as a PGA associate and eventual member, benefit you financially, and many other ways. We want to be able to think about how we can link the player development programs to the specific goals that your facility has and some of the objectives. And we'll dive into that just a little bit deeper here shortly. And as we start to think about those goals and objectives, we're going to start looking at how we can identify the distinctive needs, interests, concerns of the targeted population in your area and match those development programs that you create to these targeted areas and populations. And lastly, we want to get all the information together and develop a program that provides the instructional services to promote ongoing practice, game improvement, and continual playing of the game, and hopefully be able to use a lot of different facility-wide resources to help make those programs run smoothly. And we also want to make sure we know how to market, promote the program, you as a member, the services you're offering, and also most importantly, the facility that you're at. So we can continue to have people coming through the doors, patronizing the business, and continuing to participate in various programs that we decide to offer. So what is player development? It's pretty simple. So if we look at some of the main things that stand out, we want to focus on how do we attract new players to our facility. You know, right now we're very fortunate in golf that this is one of the handful of recreational activities that people can enjoy right now with all the things that are going on in the world. And now that we have a lot of people's attention, we want to find ways to continue to hold on to that attention and keep them coming back when things are hopefully back to what the normal is that we used to know. As we're conducting our programs, we want to always teach a lot of fundamental skills. So we never want to forget about the fundamentals that we learned from grip, stance, posture, and also a lot of the basic rules and etiquette, and even some of the things that we may consider very simple, but to new golfers, they may not quite know about where to go around the facility, who to talk to, how to make tee times. Those are also fundamentals for players to know. We're going to look at adult and junior golf instructional programs. So for me, I think that those are some of the most important things that we do in teaching. It's more than just individual instruction. When you can get groups together, you have a lot more fun. I think you capture a greater audience's attention, and especially with the junior golf programs, there's a lot of good that comes from those. And as things progress, you might look into continuing your programs and turning into leagues, golfer leagues, maybe some afternoon leagues, different types of creative social events, and even some fun family days. So I can dive into some of that also as we continue forward. And most importantly, when it's all done, we hope that we have golfers enjoying and continuing to stay with the game for hopefully a lifetime. And I think that if you run a good program, this part really takes care of itself. We offer good service, good instruction, build great relationships, and you will find that people want to stick around and continue with the game. And as I was mentioning a moment ago, junior golf. We want to cultivate junior golfers because you can get the golfers early, and that will really help with the long-term success of the programs and the facility. So getting a hold of kids at a good young age, having some fun, interactive programs for them that they eventually build up, and as they get older, they dive into different types of programs, and maybe they move on to other things like competitive leagues, junior golf tournaments, high school golf, and so on. And a very important one right here, helping the casual or infrequent golfer improve and have more fun. So at your facility, depending on where you're at, if you're at a public or semi-private, you'll see that there's a lot of golfers that you may see as somewhat regulars, but they don't quite participate in very many programs or instruction, and before you know it, they get busy and they start to lose focus on golf, and you might not see them for a couple months, and they come back. And it's these golfers that we want to capture their attention and get them excited about the game again, and find unique ways to bring them back to the club and interact with them and introduce them to the programs that you're going to hopefully offer. And we don't want to forget about the core golfers. So if your membership or just those regulars that are maybe part of a players club that you see quite often, they play in regular men's club leagues, ladies club leagues, you know, those are a big part of your business, and we can't forget them. We want to keep them engaged at all times and playing as often as we can. And one thing that I believe so much more now is, you know, I've grown a lot of experience in teaching, is it's more than just showing golfers how to improve their swings. You know, as a PGA member and instructor, being out there running these programs, if you're doing it right, you're building some great relationships, you're mentoring not only adults, but the juniors, and they're learning the game and how to play and how to swing the club, but you also develop some great friendships that can really last a lifetime. So remember that when you're out there teaching, it's more than just the swing and the mechanics, that you really build some strong relationships, and that's what really keeps everybody connected and coming back. And as I mentioned, the game is growing. You know, with, again, everything happening right now, golf is really doing well. I can tell you at our course in Mount Woodson, since we reopened May 1st, we've had a very strong, steady flow of golfers coming through the doors. Weekends have been sold out, and a lot of excitement through the game. So it's been very exciting to see. The game's becoming more diverse, thanks to a lot of investment from not only PGA of America, but other organizations, and a lot of the leading club manufacturers and equipment manufacturers. They invest a lot of time and resources into helping bring golfers into the game and how we can maintain golfers. And especially right now, there's a big push, you know, all around the U.S. in diversity and inclusion, and that's more stuff that we'll get into in a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, the golf economy. When you look into your manuals, when you get to this point, you're ready to study for your test, a lot of the important facts and information in your manual is what you're going to need to know for passing your test. So golf provides lifelong recreational opportunities and enjoyment for millions of people. We know as golfers that this is a game that if you keep your body somewhat healthy, you can play it for a really long time. So we're very fortunate compared to other sports where people may play a sport growing up in school, let's say football, baseball, and you get older and some of those sports are a little too hard on the body and you can't quite stay with them for a long time. But golf is one that, again, if you can stay somewhat healthy, you'll be involved for quite a while. The golf industry is a major contributor to the economy and the health of the economy and the individual states and local communities. And when you think about all the things that center around golf, golf really is pretty big. It's more than just a golf course and people playing 18 holes. There's a lot of benefits to your local community in terms of charitable tournaments, organizations, the food industry, hospitality industry, travel. So many great things benefit from the golf industry. And diving into that a little bit more, golf's a major industry that generates jobs, commerce, economic development, tax revenues. So when you've been in the game long enough and you see the impact it has, you know, this is why we fight so hard to keep golf at the forefront of things. And golf really does do a great job. The PGA of America does, and leading the way with again, charity and economic development, and it's just a wonderful game to be, a business to be involved in. And studies sponsored by Golf 2020, and again, this is straight out of the manual. Studies were sponsored by Golf 2020 were the first to map the golf industry and estimate the size of the golf economy. So these studies showed that golf is a multi-billion-dollar industry that contributes to a lot of different areas in the economy. And I put a little highlight here that something that came to mind when I think back to when I was taking my test, that knowing the difference between Golf 2020 and NGF or National Golf Foundation, that's an important thing to remember when you're taking that test. So I recommend you study up on that. The golf cluster. So there was a neat little picture and diagram for this, but I just kind of copied it all down. So the core industries, you got to know what the core industries are, and in a minute, the enabled industries. So core industries of golf, we've got the facility operations, what all of us are involved in, I think, for the most part. We've got greens fees, member dues, food and beverage, the instructional part, lessons, schools, camps, rentals, whether it's renting carts, golf clubs, and so on. You've got golfer supplies, so the things that we sell in the golf shop, soft goods, hard goods, apparel, might even have some books or magazines. Those are important core industries. Golf course capital investment. So whether it's new course construction, or if your facility is doing some renovations in the clubhouse or on the course, infrastructure, or you may be purchasing some new equipment. Maybe the maintenance needs some new mowers and your facility is looking for a new golf cart fleet. That's something going on right now at my former club, San Vicente Golf Resort. They've been shut down for almost the last year. They've been doing some renovations to the facility and improving greens and bunkers and doing some necessary things to get the course set up to last another 30, 40 years. And we've also got media, tournaments, and various associations and charities are more core industries. So you think of television, CBS, Augusta National, NBC, Golf Channel. You got player endorsements, charities, various tournament associations that are all tied into golf and what we consider the core of the game. And the enabled industries. So another topic to know for testing time. You've got hospitality and tourism. So this is something I just thought about. You know, there's a lot of us that when we have time off, we think about taking a bucket list trip, maybe with some friends or family, and going somewhere like, let's say, abandoned dunes, or maybe out to the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail or something. And think about when you're planning a trip like that, how much is involved in planning other than just playing the golf. So when you're in that area, you might say, I'm going to be there for a week. You've got things like entertainment. You might have to think about air travel, or if you're driving, think about driving and gas, or car rental, where you're going to stay, food and beverage. So there's a lot of things that are affected by the golf industry. These are ones that we call enabled industries. And lastly, we have real estate. You know, in the 90s, a lot of golf courses were being built as part of big housing developments. We saw a huge boom in that, and home prices started going up, and it was the cool thing to do, to buy a house near a golf course. And even today, it's still a fun thing to do. But real estate definitely benefits from golf courses. At my facility, Mount Woodson Golf Club, we're surrounded by a house in development. Our course was built in the early 90s and opened up for play, I think it was 1991. And that was part of the selling point. It's all these homes built around this beautiful course and beautiful views. And that really helped for selling the homes. And you might have other related development, not just residential, but even commercial. Once you start getting some homes and a golf course around, any available land out there might turn into different types of shopping opportunities and gas and lodging and you name it. So what are some barriers that can affect participation in golf instructional programs? So let's take a look at a few. So probably one of the most common things you might hear about is cost. So if you think about the target population you have, cost is a big deal. So whether it's a family looking to enroll their juniors in something, or maybe it's a younger college student looking to participate in something, cost is a huge factor. I can speak for experience as a parent. We're looking to sign up our kids for programs. We're looking at what we can do, how many times a week, and how much that's going to come out of our monthly budget. Time. Time is always a big one that comes up when we think about barriers. Today, we're in a more instant gratification society. We have electronics and things literally at our fingertips for some of us all day long in our pockets. And we email somebody, we expect an email back right away, or we call somebody or text, we expect it back right away. And we've been trained to be in this instant gratification mode. But something that was told to me a long time ago is that time hasn't changed. There's always been 24 hours in a day and so many days in a year, but we all have the time for what we want to make time for. So although time is a barrier, I think most of the time it is a matter of what we want to make time for. And if you create a great program and you do a good job selling it, those that are interested will find a way to make time to sign up, to participate and do the program. So remember that when it comes to doing things. And even for you, as you're going through your program and your studies, you know, you can get done in a quick amount of time, just a matter of what you make time for each day. So set aside time to study and do your stuff every day, even just for a little bit. The difficulty of the game. Many people that have tried the game, maybe once or twice, maybe gone to a driving range with some family, or you know, even just done miniature golf, they find that it's kind of challenging. You know, it's not as easy as they think. Compared to other sports, you can have somebody that's great in other sports growing up, but they get to golf, and golf is very humbling. So the difficulty tends to be a barrier in getting people to participate. There's also limited options in a lot of places besides playing 18 holes. So we are finding that more and more facilities are looking at ways that they can change this up, from either offering 6-hole green fees, or maybe they have room on property where they can develop some type of better short game area. Or if you're lucky enough and have the room, a facility might invest in a very short course, par 3 type course. If we look locally, I can think of Goat Hill Park is a place that had a piece of property next to their range, and they made a couple of holes for kids to go out onto. And, you know, there's a way to take a few acres of land and do something with it, have some fun. And that's a good way to get people started. So limited options besides 18 holes tends to be a big barrier. There might be a lack of interest for the rest of the family. So you might have, you know, let's say a dad or a mom that has interest in playing golf, and they get involved in a program and start to have some fun, but maybe other members of the family just start into it. And before you know it, lack of interest plays a big part. And if you're not doing things well, you might lose that person, and pretty soon you're losing participants in your program. Competing options for leisure time. So in Southern California, I think this is a big one. You know, we have some of the best weather in all the US, and we have so much sunshine throughout the year. And in San Diego County specifically, we are so close to beaches, mountains, deserts, and for most of it, it's a relatively short driving distance, and I'm talking like 1 to 2 hours. You know, where I'm at in Ramona, it's maybe 40 minutes to the ocean and 40 minutes the opposite way to the desert, and maybe an hour and a half if I want to go to Big Bear to the snow. So there's a lot of things to do, and you know, we're competing for the attention of those that, when they have a day off or a week off like many have this week, what are they going to do with their time? So hopefully we create some programs to capture those people that aren't doing other things. And course and facility conditions. You know, I think for some, this can play a big part. I found that this is more for those that are a little bit more into the game, that they may compare your course conditions to another, and they might decide to go play somewhere else because there's more practice areas or just better greens or whatever. So that is a barrier. And then we even have the perception by those that don't golf. Some that feel they're either not welcome, or some think that the game is still this upper class, high profile, high priced game, and they don't feel like they belong. So that's where diversity and inclusion is a big part of PGA America right now, and we're seeing more of it, you know, throughout society, that we want to do more things to include more people. And it goes beyond just race and sex and all that stuff. We want to just get people of all kinds of experiences involved in the game. So diversity and inclusion is a big thing and a big barrier for some. So let's think about some strategies, how we can grow the game. And you can see that arrow there. I'll show you what that's pointing out, something I found to be very important. So some of the main strategies. And again, think about this. This is an important thing to study. One of the main things, retaining, strengthening the golfing core. We got to know our customers. We got to be observant when you're greeting people coming in the golf shop or out on the lesson tee. Be observant, how they're dressed, what kind of clothes they have, and things they're wearing and using, and use that to start some good conversation and learn and use the details. And as you start to know your customer, you want to start collecting information, and hopefully our facilities and booking tee times online, we're gathering all that data that we can use when creating programs. We can send information out to them. We want to deepen the engagement in the current golfers. So again, utilizing that information for loyalty programs like players clubs, afternoon, twilight leagues, etc., to overcome time, expense, and other barriers that we have. And then again, a very important one, engage the lapsed golfer. So number 3, saying recognizing women's influence. This is something that's been stressed to me many times over the years, and we got to understand the role that women play in the game and in everything. So as a person who's married, I know that my wife has a lot of influence in things that we do as a family, and I always consider that when I'm creating programs. And it was taught to me a long time ago when I was working at a private club to don't forget to take care of the ladies. So we want to take care of the ladies, because when those ladies have a great time, they're going to go back home and tell their spouses and their family and their friends what a great time they have. And they're the ones that tend to be the most social and start to invite people for you. So they can be the ones that preach the gospel of golf that you're giving them and get people coming out to your facility. We want to target the 90+ million lapsed golfers. So this number is from my course manual, and I know that this isn't updated to today's date, but there's millions of golfers out there that aren't playing the game. So how can we get those people that used to come back into the game and play? Find opportunities to engage the entire family. So as I was saying, when you get the attention of these people, what can we do to get them on the golf course and create some type of family time? Twilight leagues, something that I started doing a while back when we get to this time of year, is a fun little time with my PGA Junior League families. We'll spend about maybe an hour and a half out on the golf course in the evening with some glow balls and set up a little glow course on about 4 of the holes and have a really good time out there. And that's a great way to get the family involved. I know we're challenged right now with gatherings and how many people we can get together, but these are things to think about when things do loosen up a little bit. We want to get some of those seniors. Sometimes some seniors, they come out to the course, they undergo different changes in life with retirement and medical procedures and who knows what, and pretty soon golf gets put to the side, and when they come back, how can we get their attention again? And then lastly, we've got here, engage electronic users. So we all have electronics around us all the time, TVs, computers, cell phones. What can we do to use the devices to get the interest and capture the attention of the people that we have around us? So whether it's through a mass text message, emails, whatever we can do to get to those golfers. Social media, another great one. And then how do we drive new players? So if you look at the population of golf out there, we've got other 84% people that aren't golfing. How do we get to those non-golf households? So how do we get to those communities where golf isn't really something that's talked about? How do we get to those areas where maybe people do other types of outdoor activities, whether it be going to the beach and surfing or going to the desert and riding their off-road vehicles? How can we get those people out to our facilities and golfing? Getting people ready to play. So we want to engage, accommodate those new players once they do come to our facility. And lastly, again, diversity. How can we find programming and marketing that's going to appeal to these diverse communities? I know through the Southern California PGA, there's some great stuff going on right now up in, I believe it's Compton, and they're trying to get into some neighborhoods where golf is just not something that kids think about, and oftentimes kids grow up in some difficult times and situations, and they're finding some really cool ways to get the game to those kids in schools and get them interested and hopefully get them into a positive atmosphere that can maybe be a life changer for them. So getting to the communities and create some diversity in the game. So let's look at the player development process. So phase one, when we're ready and we have all this information, it's going to be time to start creating a program. So we want to think about how can we create something that's designed according to what the business needs are, the facility we're at, looking at the local market, what we can do, and think about the customers and what they need or what they like. And then utilizing the human and financial resources that we have at our facility. So I know, like, let's say at Arrowwood, when they want to start doing some type of program, you know, the director of instruction is going to be talking with, let's say, Nikki Pritchard and Tom, and say, hey, I've been talking to people on the range and they've been sharing some information, and I think that it's probably time to start a little Twilight League. So they start to look at how they're going to do that, what time they have available, and start putting the pieces together to create something like that. So select or develop specific programs. So now we have this information. Now we got to say, what is it that we want to do to achieve these goals? So again, is it a Twilight League? People are coming out a lot in the afternoon and hitting the range. Maybe we need to get them playing the course a little bit. Is it ladies club? Maybe the ladies are wanting to get some more practice in, and we need to create some short game clinics for them. Or junior leagues. We're starting to see more juniors in our area moving to our residential communities. So let's get them out there in a junior league and get the kids and the families out on the golf course. And once we get things selected and we're specific about what we want to do, we put it together and we agree as a team how we're going to do it. Now we got to implement it. So as we get ready to implement, we got to think about scheduling, the staffing, how we're going to promote it, how we're going to set it up, and how we're going to run the program. So you got to allow yourself some time to plan this stuff. If you have a busy facility, which we're all very busy right now, you're going to have to definitely look ahead in your calendar and find some holes in the calendar, which I think for some of it might be more in the afternoon, and book that stuff out. And then you got to start looking at scheduling. That's a big one. Make sure you have enough staff to run things. And that's not just the instructional staff, but even the outside services or whoever's going to be helping set up and clean up after the event. And phase 4, once we've implemented the program, we've ran it, we've got to evaluate it. You know, once you're done, you've got to evaluate and see how effective the program was. And if you've taken a lot of good information down, you're going to compare your final data to the original and see if you met the goals that you had, if you had any shortcomings, or if you did really well, better than expected. And you make whatever little tweaks and adjustments you need to, where you need to, and then before you start the next round of programs, you have all that stuff ready to go, and hopefully the next one just keeps getting better and better. And then here's something I threw in, the 5 Ps. Proper preparation produces peak performance. In golf, as you're learning to be a good golfer, that might be proper practice produces peak performance, but on the side of player development, how are we preparing to run these player development programs? And if we do the right things, then when it's all said and done, we should run a very successful program. Is everybody with me so far still? You guys can still hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you, Michael. Thank you for this. Appreciate it.
Good. So I wanted to show you right now some pictures of some programs that I've done. On the left, you'll see a junior clinic. This is taken at San Vicente Golf Course. And again, that's where I was at before I was out in Mount Woodson. And I started over in Mount Woodson in March, right when the COVID shutdown started. So a lot of the pictures and things that I have of big group gatherings is from last year. So you're going to see I've got a group of kids that I was doing a homeschool group with. So I found this downtime in the middle of the week where I needed to fill that space, and I had a parent that was homeschooling their kids, and we started talking, and they said, hey, you know what, maybe I can talk to some other families and we can get a little group together, and that's what happened. So these are all homeschool kids that we were meeting kind of middle of the morning, like 9, 10 a.m. and doing a little clinic a couple times a week. And then on the right is same kind of group, just some of the older kids, and there we are doing some fitness. So part of my unique, diverse background, I was a fitness professional, and that's something I thoroughly enjoy teaching. and I've implemented that a lot in instructional programs that I do. So some of these kids are in that junior high age that you see on the right, and getting them to start thinking about physical fitness and how to make their bodies better and their swings improve and get ready for high school participation in golf. PGA Junior League. So this is something I've really enjoyed doing for the last, gosh, I think it's been at least 5 years now. When PGA Junior League came about, I just saw this as a great opportunity. I also work as a high school golf coach for our local high school. It's also the high school that I went to here in Ramona. And I saw that, in high school golf, you had a great opportunity for kids to be together as a team. But when you see kids that aren't in high school golf, the only other competition they really had was individual tournaments. And it is something that I found that watching kids can be rather stressful. You get out there as a player in a AJGA or Future Champions Golf event, and although they're great events and ran so well, as a player, it can be tough when it's you against an entire field of kids. And I've found that once I get involved in Junior League, the kids really enjoyed the social aspect, the teamwork that came involved, and the families really love being out there and participating. So that picture on the left is at Mount Woodson. We got Coach Perry Dotson get ready to make some announcements before we started play. And again, this is last season. And then on the right, captured a great moment where I've got two of my players in the blue lining up a putt. And that's something I've been working really hard and I'm teaching them how to work together and read the greens and help each other out. And, as I get ready to wrap up, the stuff that I'm talking about, the memories that I created from player development programs is memories that can last a lifetime. This is a great memory that actually popped up on my social media feed about a week ago. And I just had a huge smile when I saw this. This is a couple of our teams getting ready for a match, and we have all the parents, all the kids together, and it definitely makes me miss our normal times pre-COVID. And we had everybody together out there and get ready to go out for a really fun afternoon of golf. And we are very fortunate to have a great league, great participation, families and kids and everybody that just gets along really well. And it's a very casual league. So we're really about developing the players and not being too tough on the rules. So that pretty much wraps up what I have. I know it may seem kind of quick. I know my role here wasn't to give you all the answers and run through the entire course manual, but I want to throw some information out there, and I want to leave time for you to ask questions or if you had any comments. And please be sure to maybe snap a picture of this screen so you have my contact information. As I mentioned, mentoring, teaching is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and I am so happy to be in this role right now, teaching you all, doing something that I was on the other side of just a few years ago. I was the person listening in to one of the members give this, so it's really neat to be in this side of the screen and teaching you all. So at this time, I just want to thank you for participating. I know we have a holiday week here, and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Sun and John Kulo, thank you for having me into the section and chapter. And any questions or comments you have, please shoot them my way.
Thank you, Michael. This is Tom. John Kulo had to leave on the last minute request from a member, so I'm just going to take over in terms of monitoring the call from here. There's one more person who joined the call, so thank you for that. I don't have the names of the 3 people on the call, unfortunately, from my side. But if there's any questions for Michael, please do ask. Unmute yourself and please ask the question. And lastly, Michael, it's a very detailed, first-class presentation. Thank you so much. I feel the passion just listening to you, and it's been great to have you as a part of our instructors for this player development section of the portfolio. So if there's any questions, please do speak out, please.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. I don't know if anybody wants to unmute themselves or where I can see if they're typing any questions at.
Yeah, I don't have the controls, so I can't see everything that I want to. John has the controls, but again, please unmute yourself if you have any questions for Michael.
Hi, Michael. This is David Salcido.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, we're loaded now. You know, I have a little bit of a issue. I was going through the program and I got to the part where we're doing this player development part of it, and my head pro asked me to make a proposal, put it all together. I mean, it took me about a week and a half to get it all squared away. And then when I presented it to him, he said that's fine. He liked it, but he doesn't want anything to do with it. And I'm kind of like, you know, isn't he supposed to be like the mentor? He's supposed to like help me with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I kind of like disappointed right now.
Yeah. Well, I will say this first. Take down my information. You got a phone?
Yeah.
Take a picture of the screen, and we can talk a little bit more in detail and in private.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, and I know that I've gone through some similar things in the past, and there are times where you may have some challenges in trying to put some things together and present stuff, and we have to, number one, be patient and understand that sometimes those that are in, you know, management positions above us may have a lot of other things going on at the time that may make it challenging for them to make certain decisions. They could have their hands tied. I know as PGA members, you know, we should be serving that role as a mentor at all times for those associates underneath us. And again, sometimes we may get a little caught up in things, and there could be other things in our lives going on, and you know, there can be times where some fail in that category, but I would say that most of the time it's not intentional. And when you do find that you're running into a roadblock like that, reach out to someone like me, Tom, John, anybody else that may be on the section staff that would be happy to help you and guide you and maybe give you some better direction and find a way that we can help get you those programs implemented. So
sorry, Michael, that's a very good feedback. But I just have a quick question for you. What was his reason for that? Do you know? Did he explain why he said what he said?
He said he was over it, that he didn't want to do a player development program. He didn't want to be involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of left me like, wow, dude, you're just leaving me hanging.
So why did he ask you for the proposal when he didn't want to do it? You know?
You know, I'm not even sure, because he asked me to do it because for the PGM program, I have to develop a player development program anyway.
Yes, yes.
I was using him as a sounding board. Hey, you know, what about, here's the proposal. Let me know if there's any changes we need to make. And then he was like, yeah, okay, it looks great. You know, we can do this, do that. But, you know, he says, but I want to tell you the truth. It's like, I'm over this crap. I don't want to deal with it.
That's what he said.
Like, word for word.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, okay, you know, what do I do now? You know, it's like I can't implement it without his okay and without our general manager's okay.
Right.
And if he's not going to help me with it, how do I don't even know where to start, other than, you know, just go by my playbook that I developed on my own, which I don't even know if, you know, if it's okay or not.
Let me ask this question.
Michael.
Dave, are you participating in the mentor-mentee program that Tom put together?
No, you know what? I've been going back and forth with the PGA of America, and I've been going with I've been mentoring with them every once in a while, but they take a while to get back to me.
Okay.
You know?
So I would say this: when we're getting ready to be done with this call, we'll check information, and I think you should get in contact with Tom's son, who's on this call as well, and get you involved in that mentor-mentee program. Because number one, we want to be here to help you, guide you through the program, get to your membership, and also just mentor you in general and find ways that we can overcome these barriers and, hopefully help you out and give you some better answers. So I want to be here for you for that.
I echo Michael's sentiments. Please reach out to me, Michael. Send us an email. I don't know if you have my email address, but I want to help you out because this is the kind of situations that upsets me, is the fact that you're doing what you think you should be doing, and then the fact that you're not getting any the response in terms of why he's saying what he's saying. That's what's upsetting. So please to reach out, and we'll try to do our best to help you out in your situation.
Okay, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for that comment, Dave.
Any other questions from anyone else?
Anybody else have questions or comments? You can unmute yourself and ask away.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Moa, and I just want to say your junior league looked really awesome.
Thank you.
I played golf for 18 years too, and I played golf for a long time with the whole junior golf, AJGA, and at the whole Q school, and I played on the semester tour here on and off. And I'm recently working at Brentwood Country Club right now in Los Angeles.
Oh, nice.
And of course, we do have junior programs, and I've only been there for only like 5 months now. And I just wanted to ask you what it was like, or how it's like, participating or working with juniors. Because if I do want to teach in the future, I wanted to kind of start in like the junior program first to learn my way up. And I wanted to know how it's like, or what are the things that maybe like I should prepare myself for if I get myself involved in junior program. Or is it something where it's like, it's just a bunch of kids who just wants to learn what the game is all about, and whatever I know with golf swing or rules or etiquette or whatever, anything it is it something where I could just give them like feedbacks, or like, or what I know to them, like, what do I need to know? Yeah.
Well, I thank you very much for the question and comments. And you said it's Moa.
Uh-huh.
So, Moa, what I would say is you're at Brentwood, and you said there are some instructional things going on there, correct?
Yes.
Is Junior League anything that's ever been talked about at the facility, or anybody brought it up that you know of?
Well, our director of golf over there right now is Tanya, and she's the one that's handling all the junior program. And like I said, I've only been there for 5 months, and I know they have one, and I know they have one, and I want to, because I know her through competition golf, and I actually asked her, that'd be awesome if I could be part of this junior program and I could learn my way up and all that, etc. But I can't, because I'm not like, on a PGA program. I'm just starting into it. All I did was playing golf all my life, and then I got married and, etc. But like, I can't just step myself in and be like, hey, Tanya, like, can you, just because I played golf for so long, like, can you let me participate in this junior program? I can't do that either. So that's why that it was my opportunity to be in this, to work at Brentwood, which is a good opportunity for me. And I was like, oh, shoot, like, let me get into PGA program, and, let me work my way up and get my Class A. And then once I pass that, I could, step myself in. And if I'm still at the Brentwood Country Club, and if till then, if we still continue with the junior program, like, I was like, hey, like, I have my, PGA and like, this is my chance to step in. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to know, like, just a heads up, like what I should prepare for, like what I need to know if I do get that chance later on to be in that, to participate in the junior program as a PGA, as like a teaching professional.
Yeah. Well, as a PGA associate, you should have access now to pga.org, and PGA of America has a lot of great resources for instruction, and you can look up things like PGA Junior League, Get Golf Ready, different types of programs. You can go to pgajuniorleague.com.
Oh, cool. Okay.
There's a lot of information you can find there to just understand more about what it is that the program does. With Junior League specifically, it sounds like Tanya may be somebody that handles a lot of the instruction. So if you want to have a assisting type role, from my experience, Junior League is a great way to do that, because as your program builds, it's hard to do everything by yourself, and you need to have people helping. So in my role, I am registered basically as the team captain, and then I have some other coaches underneath me. And when your team grows, you might have half the team away at another course playing a match, and another half of your team or another team at home. So that's a great way for you to get in an assistant type role. And you might have practices during the week, 1 or 2 practices for your team, where someone like Tanya might not be able to handle all those because of other things she's doing. And you might want to put yourself out there and express your interest in how you can help. And from what it sounds like from your background, that you've got some good personal experience with the game, playing the game. And that goes a long way, when teaching kids, that they look to you as having the experiences doing things like tournaments and Symetra Tour, and they'll find that really interesting. And I'll assume that you've got some decent game, and when you can show off a couple of your skills on the range, that too kind of solidifies their excitement and respect for what you do. And it's good experience right now as you're working towards membership. So you don't necessarily have to be a member all the time to do this instructional stuff, but a lot of it falls on your facility and how they want to run the facility. Some places only want members teaching, but I would start by talking to your direct supervisor, whether it's a head pro, director of golf. Talk to Tanya, maybe get them together and express your interest in starting to teach a little bit in a supporting role. And you can mention today's webinar and tell them that you learned some things about Junior League. And we have a great person that's our regional director for Junior League named Junko Suzuki. And you can find her information on pga.org on the directory. And she handles all Junior League stuff for our region. And she can look up and find what other facilities in your area are running Junior League programs. See if it is worth your while to have something where you can go compete at other courses and at your facility. So I hope that kind of answers your question a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I wish, because of this whole crazy COVID that's going on, obviously things are not, we can't get like a lot of kids together, or, and maybe like one day, in the future, if I can, then that'd be awesome. But like, your whole profile was like great. It was a good learning experience. And like I said, when I saw the pictures of your Junior League program, it looked awesome. And I wish I can do that. I wish I can do that later on in the future at our country club.
Moa, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. This is Mohammed. You can do it. You just need a lot of support and guidance and advice. And I know you're in LA, but we have people from Ontario, from the headquarters at SCPGA, who is part of the mentorship program. I think I could, if you would like, I would like to connect you with a proper mentor who could teach you, help you, assist you become a potential teacher for Junior League. And so please, I don't know if you have my email address, but send me an email. I'd like to get you connected with a mentor to help you along that process.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So is there anybody else that has a question or comment?
I know, sorry to chime in, but I know wasn't a lot of people today, but for those who have joined us, thank you so much for your time today. And most importantly, thank you, Michael, for this wonderful, informative presentation. I think you were the perfect person for this player development section of the portfolio. I think player development is very, very critical for the growing of the game going forward. Not about just teaching, instructing. It's about building relationship with your students. I think you were dead on with all the points you made during the presentations. Thank you so much for your time and your effort today.
Thank you very much. Again, I really appreciate everybody for participating, listening in, and everybody to help organize this. And hopefully we continue to do these Launchpad webinars as we finish out the year and into the new year. It's our goal as PJ members, myself, Tom, and all the other mentors. We want to help you. We were all in that role as an associate, and we understand the challenges and barriers and difficulties that you go through. And we're now in the position that we can help, and we want to help. So any questions you have, if you want to dive deeper into the questions that you already gave us, please contact us via email, phone. Reach out to me if you can't get anybody else's info, and let's help guide you along and get that membership and have a successful career.
Thank you, Michael, for that. Lastly, on behalf of John, this is recorded, so we will send this by email so we let other people, other associates, to partake in this wonderful presentation. And lastly, next week is our last Launchpad. It's going to be coaching by Kyle Mendoza. So if you could have the time, please join the last Launchpad of the year, and then John and I will plan and execute the Launchpad number 2 for 2021, starting in January next year. So thank you for your time today, everybody, and have a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.